How aware are you of yourself before you move? So what does that mean? Well, we use this principle, this guiding idea in the studio before we go jumping on or walking on or sliding on any of these fun things. The principle is called your essential core, and it is what I refer to as two arms of that. The one is how do you hold on to yourself? What does that even mean? And the second piece is, how do you connect back down to the ground? So I think when we hear the word core, we think of, oh, strong, six-pack abs, I gotta get myself more strength in my core. No, it's dropping that baloney. Your core is your essential cylinder inside of you, right? And it's a hard thing to teach somebody. It also almost has to be caught versus taught. How do you hold on to yourself? Because we're doing it all day long. We're doing it, you reach for a glass of water, you reach for something down, up, you're turning, you're throwing a ball, and you're not falling all over the place. I think it's something that just is automatically happening. And then as we get older, that feeling gets perhaps a little less because we become concerned with a little bit more. So that feeling of how do you hold on to yourself? And then the second part of that essential core is how do you connect back down to the ground? Right? Because that's also part of the equation of any time that you're moving, you're connected back to the earth, gravity, and you're holding on to yourself. The better that you can be aware of that before you move, in your movement, the more confident, the more stable you're going to be as you move through things in life. I like to give this example to people about, say, when you're getting in your car. You don't just get in your car and throw it in the drive and go. You get in your car, you're probably checking out your dashboard, you're probably checking out your surroundings around your car, you're thinking about where you're going, and then you're gonna go, right? So it's similar to that as I refer to it in what's going on in your body. No, you don't have to go through all these checkpoints, but to become familiar with where am I today, because every day is going to change. And the last thing that you want to do is start to just use little tools and toys without much thought to it. So let's just do a little mini lesson of how is that holding on to yourself? And we're going to start at the floor. I once heard many years ago, and it stuck with me, your core starts at the floor because that's where you're connected to the floor and that energy, that vibe is coming up. So think about this or do this with me, getting those feet at least shoulder width apart. We don't want to have it too wide nor too narrow, but about shoulder width apart, keeping the knees a little soft. Just feel, what does it feel like? What is your weight distribution in your feet? And there's no perfect answer. I got to have 50-50. It's really just inquiry for yourself. You live in that body. What does it feel like? Right? You live in that body. So your feet are vibing up to your ankles, your knees, your hips, your trunk, your arms, your head. All of this is what you're going to move with. So becoming familiar, acclimated to easefulness back to yourself is going to be so helpful before you start with anything else. So here's two simple things that you can be aware of that will pretty much apply to any movements. The first one is, I'm going to show you from the side, is straight legs are a no-no, right? Soft knees are going to be more stable for you in those two things, in your connection to yourself and your connection back to the ground, right? Straight legs are vulnerable. You can kind of tip over, you can fall. This is more of a sporty stance. Sporty stance begins at the knees. The second place you're going to angle is called a hip hinge. It's almost like you're pushing your butt back, and it's not anything extreme. There are exercises that do that. But two places, soft knees, hinging in your hips. I probably want to add a third thing in here because that would not be good of me if I didn't include the third thing, which is a flat back. I have this saying, a flat back is a strong back, right? So flat back, hip hinge, softness in your knees. This all is producing what I call a sporty stance. You're ready. You're ready for whatever you're doing, whether this is walking on snow, whether it is gardening and weeding, picking up something off the floor. I'm just giving you examples of these three pieces show up in a lot of my exercises that I do. I am always teaching it to people. I'm always encouraging them. Even if you're going to pick something off the floor like a pencil, hip hinge, squat wide, right? Flat back is a strong back. So this is just a very, I say a very simple principle to remember to connect back to yourself. And you can just do this. You can just kind of practice this, get the feel, get that relationship with yourself anywhere. I mean, you don't have to be standing so straight here. Sometimes when you're maybe cooking your eggs, just, okay, how do I feel connected to myself? How am I dealing with my task in front of me? Even when you're on your phone, right? Am I aware that I'm like this? Oh crap, I gotta not do that, right? It's not all about just correcting yourself, but how you, where you're coming from before you actually do something. What is your base from which you're coming from? Just that getting to know yourself in a different way.